Hi, my name is Joyce, and thank you so much for watching my video about graphing this parabola through Wyzant Ask an Expert. To graph any parabola, we need a minimum of 3 points. But in this example, I'm going to show you how to do 3 as a minimum and then 2 more to get 5, which is going to give us a nicer looking graph. We have the equation y equals 1/2 x squared minus 2x. I know this is the graph of a parabola. I know this is a quadratic equation because my x is squared. Very key points about any parabola are the axis of symmetry, which is the x value of your vertex. We're going to find that first. We also need to find the roots, which are your x-intercepts. And then we're going to find the additional point. I'm going to show you how to get that. I'm going to put it all together and graph it as we go. So first, finding the axis of symmetry. The equation for that is x equals negative b over 2a. So we need the value for b in our equation, and we need the value for a. These are our coefficients of the x terms. So the coefficient of the x squared is called a. So that's 1/2. A equals 1/2. The b is the coefficient of the x term. So that's negative 2. So b equals negative 2. Substitute those in, gives us x equals negative 2 over 2 times 1/2. So I substitute in the b and I substitute in the a. So this gives me x equals 2 over 1, which is, we don't need the 1 in our denominator, so x is equal to 2. This is the equation for our axis of symmetry. What we're going to do is plug that x value in for x and solve for y. That gives us our vertex, which is the first point that we're going to plot on our parabola. So substitute in the value for x into our equation, gives us 1/2 times 2 squared minus 2 times 2. So 1/2 times 4 take away 4, and that's y is equal to 2, negative 2. So when x is 2, y is negative 2, and this is our vertex. Let's take a look at what this looks like on the graph. Okay, so there's my y-axis, and here's my x-axis. I'm going to make this a little bit longer. Okay. So this is my x-axis. So I'm going to graph this point right here, 2 comma negative 2. X is 2, y is negative 2. That puts me right there. So that's my vertex. The axis of symmetry is an invisible line, vertical line, x equals 2. Right here that you found, x equals 2 is this axis of symmetry, is that vertical line that goes through the vertex. Next, we're going to find the roots of this quadratic equation. To find the roots, you let the y value be 0. And then we're going to solve for x. So to solve for x, you have to factor out the greatest common factor here. 1/2 and x is common to both terms, so we're going to factor out 1/2 x, leaving you with x take away 4. The zero product property, 1/2 x is equal to 0, or x take away 4 is equal to 0. Solve for x, here x equals 0, and here add 4 to both sides, x is equal to 4. So these are our two x-intercepts. These are our two roots. The points are when y is equal to 0. So if x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0. If x is equal to 4, y is equal to 0. Let's graph those 2 points. So 0, 0 is the point at the origin. And then 4, 0 our other root there. Now notice we have a point 2 to the left of the axis of symmetry, and then we have the other point 2 to the right of the axis of symmetry. And that's why this axis of symmetry is really important, because it separates the graph symmetrically. So like I said before, 3 points is sufficient for graphing a parabola. We call that a sketch. I want 5 points to make this more accurate. So to get another point, we're going to choose an x value. Let's pick one over here to the right. Here we have x equals 0. Here we have x equals 2. Here we have x equals 4. So it makes sense to skip another 2 and do x equals 6. So over here, I show my work for finding that additional point. So substituting in x equals 6, 1/2 times 6 squared minus 2 times 6. So 1/2 of 36 take away 12, 18 take away 12, and so y is equal to 6. This gives me the point 6, 6. So x is 6. There's my other point. Now the beautiful thing about a parabola is that if this point is 4 to the left of the axis of symmetry, we're going to have a matching point for away on the other side. So right there. And now I have those 5 points on my parabola. I put them in a table of values for you to see here. The one in the middle is always your axis of symmetry and your vertex. So that was your 2, -2 that we found first. The roots, x equals 0 and x equals 4, go there in your table of values. And then here's 6, 6, your additional point. And then on the other side, the matching point, which is -2, 6. Okay, so we can connect these the best that we can. I'm going to redo that other side. It's not very good. Okay, that's a little bit better. Arrows. Okay, so I hope you liked my video on how to graph a parabola. Just in summary, the first thing that we found was this equation for your axis of symmetry. Right there, -b over 2a equals x. Then we use that to find the vertex, point right there. When y is equal to 0, we factor and find our 2 roots. And then to make the graph even more accurate, we need to find this additional point. Okay. So I chose x equals 0, x equals 2, x equals 4. So I decided to use x is equal to 6 to get that additional point. And the beauty about a parabola is that it always has its match on the other side of the axis of symmetry. It's symmetric. So there's your additional point. So I hope you liked my video about how to graph this parabola. Please check out my homepage on wyzant.com and book me for your tutoring needs. Thank you.